Hello, it's Sandra Pike from Royal Page Atlantic and the Pike Group. And today I have Dwayne Snell, one of my colleagues actually in coaching here from New Brunswick. And, Dwayne, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself and whereabouts in New Brunswick you are, etc.
So my name's Dwayne Snell with the Snell Group, and we're a small team within our Caldwell Banker Select Realty office. And we service all of southern New Brunswick, which would take in from St. Andrews to St. Martin's to Sussex and almost to Fredericton. And that's probably the area that we cover. We're a team of 8 realtors, and we have 3 admin staff. And that's about sums it up.
Wow. And I just mentioned to you, we were in St. Andrews on the weekend. What a quaint little town. It's so pretty there.
Yeah, it's beautiful, especially in the summertime.
Oh, I know. So the reason why I wanted to reach out, you and I, we're working with a mutual client, and I had sold their house here in Eastern Passage, and now they are moving to your neck of the woods. And she goes, yeah, we did this offer with an escalation clause. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh, wow, that's so interesting. So I started chit-chatting with her, and I'm thinking that is a reason to do another video, and hence here we are today. So what is, and I can't even say it because I get tongue-tied, an escalation clause in your market?
Well, the escalation clause is, our market has been so competitive the last couple of years, and there's a couple different ways of looking at it. But basically, what it is it's an offer that you write, and you go in at a certain number, and basically we, in additional terms and conditions, we'll put in that we'll go above the next highest offer from the original offer that we put in by a certain amount of money. Maybe it's $2,000 or maybe it's $5,000 more than the previous acceptable offer to the client, up to, and we always put a cap on it, up to a certain number. And so for an example, if you were to write an offer, it comes in at such and such a number of 400. Our offer, if we have a $5,000 over and above the other offer, it would bring us to 405. And it just seems to get our foot in the door for an opportunity, without our clients having to pay too much more than what they may have gone in at.
So how do you know, are the offers registered so that you know now that the offer is 400 and you're going to be at 405? Like, where's the honesty from the listing agent in this?
Yeah, so we basically also, in additional terms and conditions, state that the listing agent is to show proof that of their offer, and that pushes our client's offer to the escalation clause. So that shows the proof there.
But would you have the proof of the other offers' names?
I believe so. We would get the whole agreement sent to us, and there would be nothing blocked out because we would get that information. Yeah.
So where is the privacy then from the original buyer's offer? I guess there isn't any privacy.
Well, that's a great question. I do know that we do receive the number amount on the first page, and I'd have to go back and look and see what they would do, but we would certainly show the listing agent's company. So it wouldn't be that particular realtor. We would show the brokers of that company that escalation, and
John Smith, if that's who was on the contract.
Right. Yes.
But
Yeah.
wouldn't that, so I'm just thinking of a divorced couple. Imagine them going after the same property potentially, or wouldn't that cause like a lot of rift or negativity? I mean, it's wow. I mean, that's like a whole can of worms just waiting to be opened, is it not? Or is that just me like just going right to the worst already?
Well, again, it is written in the offer that we expected to receive the offer that was acceptable to them to push our escalation up to that number, so that our buyers are protected in not having to pay more for that property as they would as a straight offer going, if there was a lower offer at a $50,000 less and our clients were willing to pay 50,000 more, it'll save them in between there. And that's kind of what we looked at as far as how that escalation would work for them.
So I have 4 offers on my desk.
Yeah.
And 400, is the lowest offer, and without an escalation clause, and the other ones have 2. Am I, as a seller, do I have to pick the highest one? Can I look at the first offer, which is 400,000? I really like the letter that they would have included in their other offer. They're writing it without any conditions. I feel the best with this offer, even though it's lower than the rest. Can I still take that lower offer?
Absolutely, you can. And that's the seller's choice, and they can
Yeah.
choose to do that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So my gal was all excited for it because she said, you know what, Sandra, I can see, what I know what other bids are. And, I can just go to my maximum and it gives me a better opportunity to finally get a house. Would you say that would be a fair statement?
Can I get you to say that again?
She said something to the effect that she got to, see what the offers were, but she's not seeing what the offers were.
No,
Is she? No.
no, that's not knowledge that we have. That's where the escalation clause comes in. Instead of paying, like if she was going to pay 500 for that $400,000 home, it isn't like hers 500 and the lowest one was 400 and she spent 100 more than she had to. The escalation is in place so that if it was 400 and then she would go up to 500 but it would push her to 405, so we would save her some money but yet get her an opportunity if there was other competing offers.
So how long have you guys been doing that in your market?
For close to 3 years.
So what was it met with? Was it met with like opposition from the real estate agents or from the public? How did it go down in your market initially?
It actually was seen, a lot of realtors in our area use them. And it's very common with us here, from a lot of the realtors and the companies.
Now, would you have properties going $100,000 over asking? Well, I mean, during the pandemic, obviously that probably would have happened, but how about now? What are you seeing?
We're still seeing quite a jump. It really depends on the area that where the house is listed. In our area, we found that rural areas have slowed slightly, but some key areas like Quispamsis, Rothesay, New Brunswick, Milledgeville, Hampton, there's some key areas and other parts of St. John themselves that are still getting very much multiple offers, 15 to 25 offers, depending on what price range you're in. And so it's still very, very competitive.
So what do you personally like about the escalation clause when you are in a buyer agent position? What is it that you like about it?
I like the fact that I'll say between our offer price and where we'll escalate to, it may get our foot in the door for an opportunity. And, it gets our clients an opportunity that we may not have had before if we just went in with a straight number. And maybe it saves some of our clients a little bit of money at the same time.
Okay, I have a question. So my escalation clause, let's say, is $5,000 over up to 50,000.
Yes.
Could I, as a seller, counter back the buyer at any price I wanted to, up to, let's say, 450?
You can.
Yeah.
And that's some of the trouble that I find that we're starting to see now, where maybe pricing has kind of slowed, kind of came down a little bit, where people are now countering our buyer's top number. So I guess it's a feel because you are showing your cards, and we're running into that more and more the last little bit.
Because at the end of the day, as a buyer, if all you got as a seller was 400,000, I am aware of that, correct?
Yes.
And now people are pushing it to the 450.
Right.
So I would have my knickers in a knot if I was a buyer and I got pushed back that resistance because you are showing your cards, eh?
Yeah, you are. And the other thing too is when you get a straight counter with them deleting the escalation clause because they don't want to show proof because they may not have proof to push you up that 50,000. So then it's on our side, if we're working with the buyer, it's like, okay, well, why aren't you wanting to show proof that you've pushed my client to that top number? So it creates some questions and, but it can happen for sure.
So if you had the chance today to say, okay, I want to continue with this escalation clause, or I want to get rid of it altogether, where would you sit?
I like the escalation clause, but I think it just needs to be, you need to know the market when you're working for your buyer, and
Right.
you need to know approximately where that home may sell for. So how it was put to me today, because I just had a conversation with another realtor in our market, is go in at where you think is very reasonable and then put the cherry on top, and that would be the escalation clause, so that it's not a $50,000 or $75,000 range. It's more of it's a smaller range, but a more respectable range, I guess, as far as both parties would be. Yeah.
Interesting. Because we don't have them here in our market, and we just have, accept, decline, or counter. That's it.
Right.
And depending, I would say the average over asking here is around 27,000 in all of HRM in total.
Yeah.
But you can get some places that have gone over $200,000, which I don't know why. Okay, so I'm very happy for my seller to get over $200,000. Like, giddy up, good for you. But I don't see the need here in our market as a buyer agent that that you need to go over 200,000 unless an agent is grossly underestimating what the price should be, or they're
Right.
doing it on purpose. And at the end of the day, you are no rock star as a listing agent if that's what you did in order to drive your price up.
That's right.
Are they listing properties like lower in your market just to get the escalation clause, or to get that price up there?
They are pricing it. Some people are pricing it below, some on purpose, some not on purpose. Sometimes we can be pleasantly surprised ourselves when we put a price on a home and see the activity on it, but we may underprice a home slightly to create the activity, not necessarily to create escalation clauses, but just to create activity. So it brings the competitiveness out in everybody so that we can best, get the highest number for our sellers.
We were here locally, not locally, provincially. We were anticipating by StatsCan to get about, I want to say 8,800 people, or maybe it's 8,500, but regardless, over 8,000. And now we are on target to reach just a little over, 3,000, maybe 3,300. Where are when you see buyer offers coming across your desk, or you're working with buyers, are they locally, or are they people like interprovincially moving to your neck of the woods? What are you seeing now?
I would say that it's probably, I wouldn't say 50-50, but I would certainly say that it's probably 25% people moving here and probably 75% people that are already living here that have sold their house and kind of relocating to our area.
Yeah. Now, I didn't prep you with this question, but I'm just thinking of it now, so my apologies. With the announcement of Irving last week, Irving Oil, has there been any talk of unrest in the real estate market because of that, of that sale of the company, that part?
I haven't had too many conversations. We have helped some Irving Oil employees for sure. We have had a couple people reach out that are in management that they are showing a little concern, but as a whole, there hasn't been a whole lot of talk, but it is something that's will be very interesting to see what really happens with that. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Well, and then my other question, if you look at the escalation clause, we don't have any here. And if you look at, I think they did a pilot project somewhere in, I don't know, it was Ontario or BC. I didn't hear a lot of talk about it, but during the pandemic, we would have talked about, open bidding, that, you're seeing all the offers. So if you had to look at, if all the bids are registered, does that make sense, or does doing what New Brunswick is doing, having, okay, I'm only going to go up to 5,000, but like say 50,000 would be my max? Like, which would you think would be the better, even though you didn't work in the other one?
Yeah, I think I really only know the escalation clause, and I think if somebody was, depending on that property, if it was to really fit their family and what they're really looking for, they may say, well, you know what, that's worth just a little bit more to me. As far as
Yeah.
the pricing being registered, I'm not quite sure. I guess I haven't been involved in that. So I don't really know how I feel about that, but I am familiar with the escalation clauses. And I feel that that may be okay too. But it's very interesting, and I'd certainly be open to it.
Yeah, I think it would definitely, if it were ever to happen here in HRM, it would have to be so regulated.
Yeah.
I could see just, helter skelter happening
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
that was listed here in our market. Again, totally off topic again. I was meeting with an agent last week of one of my live interviews that I'm doing now, and we were talking about pricing. Are you allowed to talk about your sold prices, of what's happening in your market, or is that completely, just hush hush?
I don't know if I understand that question. If
So, for example, I just sold XYZ house
yes.
for 450,000. Are you allowed to talk about, housing and their prices of what sold? Like it's 123 Main Street just sold for 450,000. Can you have those discussions on social media?
I don't think if it's our listing, we could certainly say, I believe, if
Yeah.
it's our listing and we actually have those numbers, we can say, hey, this property sold 50,000 over asking or something like that. But I think giving an exact number, and maybe until it actually gets registered with Service to Brunswick. But
Yeah,
yeah,
so
great
we're
question.
not allowed to talk about it at all, even though it's on government websites.
Right.
And it's so funny, here we are in the industry, and every day you get a question, how's the market? And
Right.
it's totally taboo for us to discuss sale prices. So that is such an odd thing. But I
So
digress. I go off
yeah,
topic a couple of times, but just totally interested
yeah.
in what your opinion is. So I won't take up much of your time much more, but totally appreciate you taking the time today to talk with me.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. And yeah, hopefully we get to do it again.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Thank you.